Well, speaking of these kinds of things that we shouldn't trust the company behind the oil spill to do their own investigation, we're going to have a chance now to talk to Orange County District Attorney Todd Spitzer. Had something about this to say publicly this morning.
Todd, thank you for coming
Gentlemen,
on. All right.
Of course, thank you.
Well, tell us, what's your analysis of this?
Well, I was standing there next to Mr. Wilshire today when he announced a couple of things. First of all, he implied rather strongly that the reason the pipeline burst was because a ship anchor hit it. And so, of course, they can't be responsible for that. And I spoke to that after, and I'll get to that in a second. And then, of course, he indicated that his divers were going to be going down this afternoon and inspecting the pipeline and determining where this particular break in the pipeline was. I got asked by reporters if we had opened up a criminal investigation in Orange County looking at this situation, and right now we're working in cooperation with the federal government, the Coast Guard, because my jurisdiction extends 3 miles out, and this pipeline goes, beyond that, 5, 6, 7 miles out. So we have not yet determined where the break is or how it was caused. I mean, obviously the investigation is very preliminary. But to your point about stockholders, my job is to protect the community and to make sure that the water, fowl, and the animals and the environment is protected, and also get people made whole. I mean, think about this. The air show was canceled. Do you know the amount of money that was expended by tourists and others for the air show this weekend? The amount of economic loss because of this oil spill? And my point today was, excuse me, sir, you are not the person who should be down there with your divers as the interested party who might be a named defendant in a civil case or a criminal case. You're the one that is in charge of conducting the cause of the pipeline burst, and you're going to send your divers there. And so I demanded on the spot. And it's up to the Coast Guard, and it's going to be up to the regulatory agencies. We need to get independent divers to also determine and be down there watching every single move to determine what the cause of this rupture was.
Well, you make a good point. Isn't there already a procedure in place for these types of things? There have been many oil spills before. Don't they have an independent verification of the cause, or they just allow the company to decide or to tell us?
Well, okay, Ken, but let me just tell you the problem. So today I went down to the command center myself because I'm so frustrated about how information is not getting out or getting out. And so I went to Long Beach today to the command center. Do you know where the federal government's command center is for the cleanup operation? It's at the corporate headquarters of this oil company.
Amplify?
It's in the headquarters of Amplify's subsidiary, but it's their boots on the ground. They're sharing the office space and the space at this building. Like, I literally walked in and said, are you kidding me? The regulators are being housed in the same facility and took up space in the same location as a company that may be criminally and civilly liable for this oil spill? That was ludicrous to me.
That's not good. Well, I mean, historically in California, the regulators, the government regulators, are energy people. They come from energy companies, and it's a revolving door. They spin from the private to the public sector. They're either running the companies or they're regulating the companies, and that's why we have so many problems with the energy suppliers in this state. Fires, natural gas leaks, and then now this thing.
I understand, but we're not supposed to be in bed with each other. We're supposed to be minding the store. The fox can't be guarding the hen house. And when I heard this line from the president of Amplify, that not only has he insinuated and inferred the cause of this particular rupture. And my point was, excuse me, we know where every ship is. Every ship has GPS. We also know that all the tables and charts are marked with that pipeline. And so think about this. Okay, let's say he's right. Then guess what? There's going to be liability by a shipping company, right, with respect to dropping an anchor in the wrong place. But the point is, how dare you put out at this preliminary stage of the investigation what the cause of action might be? He did that to shift blame away from himself.
Because the first person to get the story out wins in the public mind. Because if people hear, oh, it was a ship dropping anchor, then they go, well, what are you going to do about that? Except the pipe ought to be able to withstand a ship's anchor. It should have been built because that is not an unforeseen issue. That is something that you should plan for.
I totally agree, and it might incur additional liability, right, in the chain of liability. But again, I felt like it was a complete propaganda show by having Amplify at a press conference with the federal government. The Coast Guard was there and Fish and Game was there to explain what they were doing to try to contain this oil spill and reduce the impact.
That's a great point. The government should not be putting him as one of the leads of their press conference when he may be an adversary. They should be suspicious of everything he's going to say, not use
John,
him as...
He's not just an adversary. He could be a defendant.
Yeah, I know. You're right.
All right, Todd. It's always great to talk to you. Love your energy.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen.
All right.